How great was to see that trick play work like magic?
Well, I don't know if it worked like magic, but it worked. Yeah, it was a good play for us. We wanted to get to it. There were certain situations we felt like we could get the look that we wanted, and it came up for us in that case. And ultimately, those plays come down to execution. Book did a really good job handling that pressure and getting the pitch off, and then Dante made a really good throw, and DJ made a hell of a catch.
What made Dante the right guy to throw the ball there? Or did you have it, or was it anybody who was in that spot?
No, he just has a real good feel. I mean, I think we've seen that from Dante. Whenever he's gotten opportunities, he's gone in and played well. He's got a good feel and instinct for playing the game, and we worked on it a little bit last week with him in practice. He threw it well, so decided to give him a shot, and he came through.
Could you have made that one-handed catch when you were in?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. That was a hell of a play.
You moved Daniel out of the pocket a lot last week. Is that something that can become a bigger part of his game and the offense going forward?
Yeah, I think each week you just try to decide what you think you need to do to win the game. And, you try to attack, what are potentially strengths that you have and maybe some things that you think you can take advantage of from them. That was such a good defense last week. I mean, I think they were third in the NFL coming into the game, and we had a lot of moving parts on the offensive side of the ball, so we felt like that was a way for us to move the ball. And again, I thought the guys responded well to it.
When you look on the other side, you see Mahomes. He does a lot of that moving on the run and throwing, not designed, right? It's just the sort of freelancing. How much of that do you want Daniel to do that more? Maybe. It seems like when he goes to run, when he moves, most of the time it ends up running rather than running to throw.
Well, I don't even want to compare players. In Kansas City, I mean, that guy's a really, really special player, and he has his style of playing, and obviously he's taken the league by storm. Just all the different things he's capable of doing, throwing from the pocket, throwing on the move, making creative plays, throwing the back across his body, throwing from awkward, funny body positions. He's just amazing, and you just got to give him credit for what he's been able to do so far, the way they've used him, and then just simply how he's played.
I'm more asking how much would you like Daniel to add that aspect, not the throwing across his body, but just unscripted throwing, on the run.
Daniel's made a lot of plays for us on the move. He made a lot of them the other day in the game. He uses his feet to run. He uses to throw. And, he has his own style, but he's been really effective, and he's going to get better and better as we go.
You've used that heavy personnel package at the goal line, worked a couple of times early in the year. Obviously, it didn't work the other day. What do you like about just having all those big bodies in there at the goal line?
Yeah, typically down there, you get inside the 1 yard line. That's been a good personnel in the NFL for a long time. We call it 23 personnel. It's 2 backs and 3 tight ends. And it's been good for us. It's been good for other teams. They did a good job stuffing us. And, it comes down to coming off the ball, being lower, getting a little bit of a surge and getting in. The numbers are never going to be right down there. They're always going to have one more than you have. And, unfortunately, we didn't get in that time. There are other ways to score down there, too. You can be opened up and spread out. But inside the 1, typically that's been pretty good. We'll continue to use that. We'll continue to try to do other things as well.
What would it mean to this offense if you get some of those weapons back?
Yeah, I thought our guys responded really well the other day. Again, if you think about the different pieces we're using on the offensive line and then the different skill guys who came in and played, you've heard me say this before, we got a lot of professional guys on our team who prepare the right way and get ready for their opportunities. And I thought that was in evidence the other day against Carolina. Having said that, guys are starters for reasons. And, the other guys who have been out have been really good players for us. But we just got to continue to control what we can control. Those guys are controlling their preparation and their rehab as best they can. They're trying to get back as fast as they can. When they come back, there'll be a place for them. But in the meantime, the guys who are playing, they got to continue to embrace their opportunities, and they've done that so far.
Jason, Joe was saying that for when you go against a high-powered offense like this, there's a couple different ways you could approach it. You could try to play ball control, or you could try to sort of match their high-poweredness, for lack of a better term. But what's the balance like to try to strike that in prepping for this week, especially when you don't necessarily maybe know if you're going to have some of your guys?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we always talk about is controlling what we can control, and what we can control is executing ball plays. And if we're able to score fast against these guys, that's a good thing. If we're able to drive the ball and score, that's a good thing. And you know, the biggest thing we have to do is execute play after play after play, sustain drives. You know, it's about making a lot of little plays in the game. It's about making the big plays when they're there. And we've played our best offensive football. We've been able to do that, and that'll be no different on Monday night.
How do you handle, you personally, game plan wise, with, you know, your 4 of your top weapons you don't know, right? Or you might not have them. Do you plan that, okay, we're not going to have these guys, and then add as you go?
Yeah, I think that's the best way. You try to get the right information from the training staff. Our guys do a great job communicating with us. And you talk to the players about what their availability is. But having said that, we're going to have ball practice today. And we need to have receivers and linemen and tight ends and backs out there going. And we believe in the guys that we have. And if we're able to get some of the other guys back, we'll plug them in and we'll go. We have to be nimble on the call sheet. There's a lot of different personnels with guys' names on it. And if guys are available, those will be up. And if they're not, they won't be up. And the next guy's going to step in. So, again, I keep going back to our guys. They embrace whatever situation it is, and they've responded well to it.
Jason, some of the things that worked against Carolina with the quick slants, I think Darius caught a couple, and I think Pettis had one too. I mean, is that something specific to Carolina, or is that something you guys run well?
Yeah, you know, I think it's something that has to be part of what you're doing offensively. And, you know, the quicks have been good for us. You know, around here, you know, it's always a combination of trying to make some of those quick plays where the ball comes out of your hand and then making some plays down the field. And again, the conditions that you have, the guys you have playing, the guys you're going against, I think factor into those decisions. The biggest piece is the execution part. And I think our guys did a great job in the game the other day. When those plays came up, they made the throws, they made the catches, they made the runs after the catch, and that was big. I think if you look at the ball location on a lot of those, it was really good. You know, Dante wins on an inside slant. DJ puts it right on the front number, and he comes out of it for, I think, a 28-yard gain. So the execution at a high level, how you're protecting, how you're throwing it, where the ball is, catching on the run, I think those are big parts of it. And you can make some explosive plays in that quick game. Our guys were able to do that.
Jason, what have you seen from Evan Ingram this season? Because with so many of the other starters out, it would seem like his time to step up and shine, and the numbers aren't necessarily showing that.
Yeah, Evans has just responded well to anything we've ever given him, and you know, he's dealt with some injuries himself. He's worked his way in and out of the lineup and all that, but you know, he gets himself ready to play. And I think the other day in the game, he did exactly what we asked him. We moved the pocket a lot. He was a guy that was, you know, a guy who was going to get the ball on a lot of those plays. He caught him, went north and south, and made a lot of good plays for us. So he's ready and willing to do it, whatever we ask him. He's been a blocker at times. He's been a vertical receiver. He's been a run after the catch guy. He's always ready to go. So we love having him on our team.
This is a national game. A lot of people, you know, from outside watch. With Daniel, do you feel like people realize when you talk to people on the outside, you know, how well he's kind of played so far this season?
I don't really think too much about that, to be honest with you. You know, we really try to focus on what we need to do each day. He's done a great job of that. And, you know, you prepare, and then you go out there and play. And I think he's clearly improving with every opportunity. I think that goes to his approach. He's someone who's always ready for the opportunities in practice, and then he learns from the experiences. And he does that in the game as well as any of the guys I've been around. So he'll keep getting better and better and better. We're going to keep trying to get better around him and keep growing. And we'll just keep kind of focusing on that.
Refreshing that for the first time this year, you're going to have the same offensive line, I would assume, back-to-back games?
Yeah, you know, again, it's just part of the deal, and I keep going back to this. Our guys have responded well to it, our coaches and players, and you know, whatever it is, we just got to be ready to embrace it. And guys have to be prepared. You never know; these situations change during the week. They change during the game. You know, go in there and play, next man up, and keep embracing that approach. That's what allows you to play your best.
Last one.
How was the victory formation?
It's good. It's nice to be in that. It really is. We got to get more of that going.